What's up guys, TSI DoMiNaToR here again, and today we'll be continuing our playthrough of Assassin's Creed Origins Discovery Tour. Now, again, I don't know how this series will turn out, so bear with me. I don't exactly know what we did last time we ventured into this, because frankly, I couldn't really remember. Calamity Blade has been added to your inventory. Okay. Just going to load the Discovery Tour back up. And we'll continue where we left off. Egypt is home to two of the seven wonders of the ancient world, the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Celestial travels. The souls of the dead were thought to fly out during the day and return to the safety of the mummified body by night. It's likely that a wet nurse took care of Cleopatra, that a servant pre-chewed food when she was a baby, and that they had royal tasters to check for poison. Jesus. Tap X while climbing to a wall or platform behind you. Yes, I already knew that. Cleopatra's father, Ptolemy, styled himself the new Dionysus. However, Alexandrians called him the bastard, or related to Piper, for he loved pain. Okay. Right. Memphis? I believe that's where I was. Oh no, I was overlooking Siwa. The Siwa Oasis. Right. Oh Jesus, you can move the map with a fucking... You can actually move the map with a touchpad. Holy crap. That's just asking for trouble. Right. Right, how many... Well, oh, Jesus Christ. Osiris, the first mummy. What the hell? Why the hell not? Give me a second. Osiris, the first mummy. Number of stations 6. Region Siwa. Understand the significance of the mummies for ancient Egyptians. Estimated time 4 minutes.
Welcome to Osiris, the first mummy.
Okay. What have we got?
The oldest mummies recovered date from the Old Kingdom, though Egyptologists believe that mummification was in use much earlier than that. At first, the body was mummified through environmental desiccation, dryness of the environment, and the heat of the climate. Early experimentations in mummification were conducted with the use of resin made from tree sap. Strips of linen were only used on some superficial parts of the epidermis of the hands or jaw.
And that pictures the reconstruction of a tomb of a man. So generic. Okay.
Ideologically, the will to preserve the body is not explained in any way until 3600 BCE. This is when the Egyptian belief that the body housed the soul was finally documented for modern Egyptologists to eventually decipher. It was not until the arrival of the myth of Osiris in the Egyptian religion around the 5th dynasty that mummification was thoroughly conceptualized. The practice was thereafter grounded in both a mythological and ideological point of view.
5th Dynasty Osiris inscription at King Una's tomb, in Inscription de Pyramide de Sacra by Gaston Maspero, 1894, University of Toronto, Canada. See, I'll be honest, I just look at that and I see a fucking bunch of pictures. I cannot read hieroglyphics, and I don't ever particularly want to. Genesis myth.
Osiris was mainly known as the god of the dead and the god of resurrection. The most well-known Genesis myth concerning Osiris is that of his dismemberment.
Statuettes of Osiris. Okay. I notice I say that a lot. Okay.
It is Plutarch who gives the most simplified and complete summary of the story. Within Egyptian mythology, Osiris represented the first king to rule Egypt. Jealous of his power, his brother Seth attempted to usurp his throne. After several unsuccessful attempts, Seth succeeded in killing his brother by dismembering him and scattering the pieces of his body all over Egypt.
Jesus.
Isis, the great of magic, traveled all over Egypt in search of the pieces of her husband's body. After a long search, she recovered all the pieces save for his manhood, as it was eaten by a fish.
Eaten by a fish? Jesus. It's not bad enough that he'd been dismembered and spread all over Egypt. It's the fact that his dick was ate by a fish. That's another statue of Osiris. He said
Isis then reassembled the body of her husband by binding it together with strips of linen. Aided by her sister Nephthys, another powerful magician, they gave Osiris the breath of life. This not only brought him back from the dead, but also allowed him to recover his virility long enough to impregnate Isis, thus ensuring his succession before, once more, dying. Thus Horus was born.
Wait, what? Okay, sorry. Just fucking backtrack a wee minute. How the fuck does that work? Recovered his virility. His dick was eaten by a fish. The first mummy.
The ritual used to bring Osiris back to life essentially depicts how he became the first mummy. It is why, on the sarcophagi of kings, we often find Isis and Nephthys represented as the magicians who restore life to the deceased.
Consumus offering to Horakti, Osiris, and Nephthys. 19th dynasty. Osiris, the first man. Okay. Oh fuck, I can read. Oh, there we go. Come here. There we go. See, I'm thankful this is the fucking Origins Discovery tour we're doing and not Odysseys, because I have to, there's like hundreds of points of interest there, and that just frankly makes me want to kill myself.
Whoa.
I'm going to change character real quickly. I'm just going to switch to Sharia. I feel it'd be appropriate for an Egyptian girl to learn about, like, ancient Egypt. So I want to see what her horse comes out to be. The fuck? Okay, that was weird. Oh. Fuck, that's the last thing she needs. Oh fuck, so this is the horse that Shadia gets. Jesus. She gets a full blown fucking... Yeah, Jesus. game does not fuck about with Shadia, do they? I don't even know what this tour we're heading to is. Wasn't me. That was not me. I'm just thankful I can't get attacked in this. But at the same time, I can't attack. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Oh, this will help. Number of stations 14. Learn about hieroglyphs, how they evolved through time, and what they can teach us about ancient Egyptian culture. Estimated time 7 minutes. Yeah, let's start the story.
Welcome to Ancient Egyptian Hieroglyphs.
Different scripts.
Hieroglyphics were used as sacred writing, appearing on monuments, statues, and sacred papyrus texts. The earliest symbols that resemble hieroglyphs were on pottery dating back to 4000 BCE. This stylized form of signs and drawings was the only writing used from its ancient origins to the end of pharaonic history. Ancient Egyptians referred to hieroglyphs as the writing of the gods.
Cup inscribed with the name of the Horus Semerkit. Okay. Interesting. A difficult language, nice shit.
Considered a difficult language, it was intended for pharaohs, nobility, and priests, and meant to be used in ceremonies, within tombs, and for government records.
The seated scribe.
Since few Egyptians were able to read the ancient hieroglyphs, the mythological aura around the language was persistent, even in their own culture. The structure of hieroglyphs offers insight into Egyptian culture, not just in what the translations say, but in the structure of the symbols themselves.
Agricultural scenes.
They were found on tomb walls, on sarcophagi, on statues, and on pottery, and were meticulously recorded in countless ancient papyri.
Tomb of Nakht. So what is it with the Egyptians and having fucking noises like nah?
In many temples, priests would perform rituals and daily offerings.
Spells and
These
offerings.
were accompanied by hieroglyphs used as spells. In tomb paintings, the hieroglyphs are represented with formulas to recite. These spoken words were meant to be spells which would allow the deceased to benefit from the offerings for all eternity. Spells and offerings were also written for the living, to enhance medicines and cure illnesses.
Papyrus with worshipper performing ritual scenes. Huh. There it is.
The most famous of ancient Egyptian documents is the Book of the Dead. Written in hieroglyphs and hieratic texts, it depicts important spells and rituals. These spells were intended to ensure a smooth transition from life to death and allow the deceased to safely navigate the perils of the afterlife.
Mythological papyrus of the Weighing of the Heart. Oh yeah, because I remember hearing about that in the main game, because in the main game of Assassin's Creed Origins, folks say that they are, when you kill like a target, they'll say, "Oh, my heart will be weighed in the scales of Anubis." Reading hieroglyphs.
Even after it was deciphered, the reading of hieroglyphs remained difficult at times due to the many directions in which they can be read. Depending on the orientation of the signs, hieroglyphs can be read left to right, right to left, horizontally or vertically, though never bottom to top.
Alright, so you can... Okay, so you can read it like a manga. No, you can read it like a normal book. You can read it like a manga. Horizontally. Or vertically, though never top to bottom. Okay, so you can move... Right, hold the fucking bus. This is weird, right? So say that top line, you could read it either way, really. You could read it left to right, which is what most folk would do, or you can read it right to left. And that's one way you can read hieroglyphs, or you could read it the ways on the side. You could read the fucking top to bottom, but you can never read it bottom to top. The bottom to top bit makes sense, but how the fuck would you go about reading that? Reading directions.
A clue on which way to read is to first notice which direction the figurative signs are facing. If a pictogram is looking to the right, then the reader is meant to start from the right and read towards the figure. Column text on a papyrus begins from the right, then goes top to bottom for each column.
Really? So wait, you're telling me that if it's looking that way... No, let me find a fucking good example of this. Alright, hold on. Actually, let's just go back to this one. So you mean to tell me that if they're facing... If a pictogram is facing that way, or... Is there a fucking picture up here? See, these aren't good examples. Writing with hieroglyphs.
Text written on tomb walls resembles the structure of a page from a comic book. The text can be placed in front, behind, or above the character, and its symbols look in the same direction as the character. Another clue is that the name of a god or hieroglyphs meaning gods or kings are always written before the descriptive text.
Foundation deposit. Plaque. New Kingdom. Musée d'Archéologie Méditerranéenne Marseille. Ville de Marseille d'Ist. Next. Use of symbols.
Compared to alphabetical languages, Egyptian hieroglyphs have more symbols.
No shit.
Confronted with the absence of vowels, the Egyptians invented a category of signs. When placed at the end of words, these signs help inform its meaning. For instance, a drawing of a lion will refer to a lion and also relate to the abstract concept of a lion as something dangerous or powerful.
Oh, we're getting fucking the take up in here. Nefertiti Stele. See, again, I just look at this and I see pictures. Oh, Christ.
Middle Egyptian hieroglyphs contained a little more than 700 signs.
Huh?
By the end of the Greco-Roman period, there were 10,000 signs. Egyptologist Sir Alan Gardner created a list classifying common hieroglyphic signs and their variants.
Hieroglyphics Chart, Part 1 by Jean-Baptiste Begon. What the fuck? 10,000, fuck that. The Egyptian language.
Ancient Egyptian languages have many similarities with Asian and African languages. They have evolved in similar ways to the various forms of written Egyptian. These languages belong to the Hamito-Semitic group. There were 5 clear evolutions in the Egyptian language, each with their own distinctive structure. These languages are known as Old Egyptian, Middle Egyptian, Late Egyptian, Demotic, and Coptic. Coptic is the only living language that allows linguists to define the vowel structure and to distinguish different dialects.
Life of St. Andrew, Sahidic parchment. Okay. Oh, behind the scenes.
While hieroglyphs and hieratic script give us an idea as to how the ancient Egyptian language was structured and written, the way it was spoken is still up for debate.
And this is recreating the Egyptian
language. The
team
opted for English as the spoken language, with the characters using ancient Egyptian and Greek words and accents. The language that is spoken in the background by the crowds is largely based on Sir Alan Gardner's Egyptian grammar. To help resurrect a dead language, we consulted Egyptologists and dialogue coaches to establish our target's sound and cast actors with Arabic, Hebraic, and African backgrounds to bring the game to life.
Book of the Dead of Astweret. Okay. Yeah, because you can like detect the and the accents that you get in the game. You can detect it.
After Alexander the Great's arrival in Egypt and the establishment of his reign, Greek became a language used by the governing bodies. The inability to read hieroglyphs caused resentment among the Greek population. It's from this tension that the Rosetta Stone was created.
The Rosetta Stone. Oh yeah, because isn't that a rock with a big fuck off?
The spread of Christianity ended pharaonic culture and resulted in the destruction of its pagan monuments.
Sacrilege.
This writing and understanding.
It's a shame. Torn down by the Christian papacy. This is why I do not like religious extremists. I've got the first This is a first civilization, though, you can tell just by looking at it. See, out of all the like new Assassin's Creeds, this is the one I think I can technically say I've completed because I've done everything in it. Or at least I have, as far as I know. I'm not even close to doing all the objectives in each location in Odyssey, and I am not going to attempt that. I'm making decent progress with Valhalla, but I've got a feeling when this fucking DLC comes out tomorrow, I'm fucked. But we shall see. I will say, for a game that's like fucking like majority 90% sand, this game can look gorgeous. I would like to know how. Just get Shadia to go a wee bit quicker. Maybe she'll get a horse to speed up a wee bit. Sorry. 9-year-old girl coming through. Okay, where are we? Sorry, my bad, coming through. Siwa. Number of stations is 9. Learn about the geography and importance of the oasis of Siwa.
Welcome to Siwa.
Siwa. Oh.
The Siwa Oasis is in the western desert of Egypt. Geographically, the Siwan Oasis is located in a depression 20 meters below sea level. Its natural springs and warm climate aided in the bountiful production of date trees. Though clearly influenced to some degree by Egyptian and African culture, the area's isolation resulted in a unique society and language. While they worshipped the same deities, Siwan temple architecture differed from traditional Egyptian temples.
In antiquity, over the Gurmi held it with Temple of Ammon and Governor's Palace. Isn't that an oasis like a place you see in the desert when you're like
Old
hallucinating?
Kingdom Egyptians referred to the oasis as cauldron, due to its unique geographical structure. Oases were crucial for nomadic tribes and caravans. Without them, there was no chance of survival in an otherwise harsh landscape. As such, oases quickly became hubs for trade, as well as areas of political control.
Yeah, if you hold a place like this, you can basically... It's a bad example, I know, but it's like Game of Thrones. The fucking... listen to the histories and lore, you hear about House Frey who said, "Oh, if we build a bridge across this river, we can control who gets in and out of the north." And sure enough, they became rich and powerful. North-south orientation.
Because of the dry climate, there is very little rainfall to sustain the oases. Instead, underground rivers flood the natural basins. Since many oases have a north-south orientation parallel to the Nile, some geologists suggest they were once tributaries of the mighty river. There is evidence that ancient Egyptians attempted to create some oases.
How can you create oases? That's what I want to know. I mean, I wouldn't be complaining. There'd be a lot less people dying in the desert, but... Libyan oases.
The Libyan oases are the best known, as they are geographically and culturally linked to the Nile Valley and the Delta. These western oases have a distinct geology from the other regions of Egypt. The most famous and important oases are Karga, Dakhla, Farafra, Baharia, and Siwa.
They did like using didn't they? I'm fucking glad I decided to stay in this horse, that's for damn sure. Cleopatra's bath.
The Spring of the Sun is one of many thermal sources in Siwa, with the particularity that Cleopatra would have bathed in this one, giving it its name. The presence of the source beneath was attested already by Herodotus during the 5th century BCE, when the oasis...
Sorry, I couldn't help but laugh because you meet Herodotus in...
by the Greeks of Cyrene.
Odyssey. Right, the Spring of the Sun is one of many thermal sources in Siwa with the particularity that Cleopatra would have bathed in this one, giving it its name. Well, if Cleopatra did it, why the hell not? Well, shit. Oh my god. What the the fuck? Hey. Where do you think you're going? Oracle of a Moon
predicted the future, delivered omens that could be more or less obscure, and offered divine guidance. The Siwan Oracle was considered one of the 3 greatest of the ancient world, alongside the oracles of Delphi and Dodoni. Because of the Greek colonies in Cyrenaica, the temple associated Zeus with the worship of Ammon.
Zeus, Ammon on the throne. The Siwan Oracle was considered one of the 3 greatest of the ancient world, alongside the oracles of Delphi and Dodoni. I don't know Dodoni, but I know Delphi. I know Delphi very fucking well. Oracle of Delphi, that was fucking... That's Odyssey. I think you see her in Odyssey. Alexander the Great, son of Ammon.
It's no wonder that Alexander the Great made the perilous journey to Siwa in order to consult the oracle, emulating the actions of mythical heroes such as Hercules and Perseus. This action earned the approval of the oracle, who validated his claim as Pharaoh of Egypt. He was confirmed as the son of Ammon, conferring upon him the most legitimate claim to date of all Egypt's foreign invaders.
That's a picture. That's a carving of Alexander the Great as Pharaoh, Karnak, Temple of Ammon by Jean Binot. This is Station 8. Yeah, predicting victory.
The powerful and the rich would send gifts or travel great distances in order to ensure their good fortune by gaining the blessing of the Oracle of Siwa. Every successful blessing only increased the soothsayer's prestige. Runner Eubotus, a famous citizen of Cyrene, consulted the Oracle in order to know if he would win the 93rd Olympic Games race in 408 BCE. He did, enhancing the standing of the C1 Oracle in the process.
Here's my question though, did he go boasting about the fact that he'd talked to the Oracle and he had his victory claimed by her? Because if so, folk could have just said, oh no, we ain't fucking with the gods, and let him win. Not trying to be, like, blasphemous or anything, but
Amun was
it's a good
built
point.
in the 6th century BCE by Pharaoh Amasis. In the
Ram-headed
game, its
sphinxes.
entrance is guarded by ram-headed sphinxes, the animal representing Amun. They were inspired by similar statuary located at the British Museum. Another option would have a Greek-influenced representation of Zeus Amun, a human-headed sphinx with horns. This representation of Zeus Amun was very popular in Siwa.
Colossal statue of Amun protecting King Tahaka. What the hell, we'll just take a picture here. I'll be honest, I don't even know if the fucking photo sharing thing still works. Is that all of the tours here? I believe so. That is all of the tours in Siwa. Right, I believe there's a trophy for doing this. Hold on just a second. I believe that is a tour of achievement. I want to make sure of something. Trophies, Sacred Origins, blah blah blah. Ow. Right. No. 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 Oh, God damn it. What's this one? That's Tutankhamun. That's not what I'm after. Damn it. Complete all tours in the daily life category. Complete tours with at least 5 different characters. Okay. Then we'll switch. Hasina of Yamu. Right, next tour is going to be with Hasina here. Too used to Xbox. Right, where do we go next? It said daily life. You want me to do? Oh fuck. I am not doing fucking all day life. But I'll do Natron. Right, so I believe I've done. This will be my 3rd tour with a different character. Because we've done the Roman soldier. We've done the fucking. We've done Sharia. So now we'll play it as Hassin in. Holy fuck. Have you tried sliding down the side of a pyramid? What are you waiting for? Give it a go. I already have. Here's my question. Have I... Is that an achievement on the Xbox version? Give me just a second, Kim. I'll get to this. Estimated time, 2 minutes. Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt that very much. Close that. Close it. There we go. There's one thing that I want to check. Oh, I need to scroll a while, don't I? Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Syndicate. Halo, Black Flag. Yuma. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Assassin's Creed Unity. Origins. No, apparently I've done them all. first visit. Polymorph. Complete tours with at least 5 distinct characters. Okay, so there's... What's this? Okay, that's not enough. So as far as I know, there is 3 Discovery Tour achievements, and that is First Visit, which we've already got, Polymorph, which is what we're working on, and Archaeologist, which is completing all the daily life tours. That's going to be a problem, because that might take a couple of episodes. We might need to focus a couple of, like an episode or 2 to just the daily life ones, because they can get long. Right, Natron, number of stations, 4, regions, Karanome. Learn about the uses of natron and how it was mined and farmed in ancient Egypt. Estimated time 2 minutes. I highly doubt that.
Natron is a colorless salt that was used by ancient Egyptians for food preservation, cleansing products, and glass making. It was also used in the mummification process.
Bag of natron from Tutankhamun's embalming catch. Okay. Try to speed this up a wee bit.
During the ceremonial embalmment ritual, the priests packed the body in natron in order to remove all of the moisture.
Oh, Jesus.
Once the body was thoroughly desiccated, they could begin the wrapping.
Yeah, but that's just morbid. Why would you show a picture of a mummy of a woman? That's gruesome.
Natron was mined in Wadi Natron. The main mining methods involved either cutting slices out of the lake bed when it was dry, or raking through mineral-saturated water to gather the mineral salts during the floods.
Natron lakes. Wait, so this used to be a lake? Okay. Oh, not behind the scene one.
Both techniques are still used today, and inspired the team in their recreation of the mines located in the mountains northwest of Memphis.
Well, that's the Natron tour completed. I did like the fact that concept art picture had Bioquare's shield. I did like that. So this is where they used to mine the stuff that you put into mummies. Ugh. I've got a feeling that would have cunted you. Now I'll make a start on I'll do a daily life one. What the hell? I'll start with the lowest number. So I've got 6 so far. 9, 7, 4, 9, 4, 10, 14, 10, 7, 6. I saw 4, so... Domesticated animals of ancient Egypt. Learn about the various domesticated animals of ancient Egypt. Okay, I shall... That was 3, so I will switch to... I don't want to be any of the main characters of the game. So I'll play as... What the hell? Cleopatra. Queen of Egypt. And domesticated animals. So I've done 3 characters. Or is it 4? Those who can. In Alexandria, scholars were highly regarded. In the rest of the Hellenistic world, not so much. One expression, he's either dead or off teaching somewhere. Ancient marksman. The recorded maximum range of a well-trained archer was about 450 meters. Jesus Christ! See, this technically counts as a character for the game. Yes, it's the game's model, but Cleopatra was a real historical figure. I'm saying this is only going to be about animals, so I'm not really expecting much. Domesticated animals. Number of stations 4, region Fayum. Learn about the various domesticated animals of ancient Egypt. Estimated time 3 minutes.
Welcome to Domesticated Animals of Ancient Egypt.
Very old tradition.
Agriculture and domesticated livestock were introduced 6,000 years ago. Archaeologists have found traces of cattle, donkeys, pigs, and dogs. Dromedary are thought to have been introduced during the Persian invasion.
That's a relief fragment with King Khufu's cattle. Pets.
Pets were deeply cherished in ancient Egypt Many illustrations of children often include a pet in the depiction.
Along with a cat. Yeah, because cats were fucking... Cats in particular were quite religious in ancient Egypt. It's kind of like the belief in India that cows are sacred. Introduction
One
of
of
cats.
ancient Egypt's most iconic animals, the cat, wasn't adopted into their daily life until the Middle Kingdom. Since they were so highly capable of killing snakes and rodents, cats were present throughout every period. However, they only became pets sometime during the Middle Kingdom. Prince Thutmose, son of Amenhotep III, had his cat Tamu laid to rest in its own sarcophagus.
Tamu. Jesus, you had a cat put in a sarcophagus. That just reminds me of that book I read. I can't remember what it was. Cat Mummy? That just didn't end well.
The earliest reference to dogs dates back to 5000 BCE. They were popular pets as they helped hunters and protected herds. They were closely linked to Anubis, the jackal-headed god. Baboons, monkeys, and even falcons were tamed as pets. Each was mummified and buried with as much ceremony as any family member.
Dogs and family ties. Oh, hello. Speaking of a dog. Oh. Oh, is that that? Did I already do it? I thought... Yeah, I could have easily fucking just pulled up the Discover Tour list, the trophies. Well, there's one more we need to do, and that's complete all tours in the daily life category. And then we could potentially call this finished, but I started it, I might as well finish it. Now, back to Sharia. Now, there's one thing I want to know. What's that book? Cat Mummy book. Fucking yours by Jacqueline Wilson. Yeah, I remember that. I remember like reading that book about 6 times. I only had, and that was in a week, I think, maybe 2. That's a pyramid, so that's not what I'm after. I'll tell you what, guys. I'll do 2 more. Learn about the uses of leather and linen in ancient Egypt. Okay. I'll do 2 more tours, and we'll call that there. Because frankly, I want to see Sharia do a leap of faith. And I've noticed that viewer count has changed to 1 a couple of times. That's creepy. I was literally just talking about the viewer thing changing, and it just changed. What the hell? Iliad penetrated Cleopatra's world like no other. I was fucking reading that. It was the most well-known work of fiction at the time. The Iliad? Wasn't the Odyssey long written then? You have an accord. Egypt's profitable luxury trade was with India. Silks, spices, ivory and elephants travelled across the Red Sea in along caravan routes. Now that's creepy that I was talking about the viewer number changing and then it changed. And I've got a feeling that folk have been coming in, seeing that this is Discover Tour I'm playing and then backing out. Leather and linen in ancient Egypt. Number of stations, 4. Region in Alexandria. Learn about the uses of leather and linen in ancient Egypt. Estimated time 4 minutes.
Welcome
so a minute per station.
Leather and linen in ancient Egypt.
Tanning leather.
A process which dates from prehistoric times, was present although not highly valued in Egypt due to the heat.
Oh shit.
Leather was reserved mainly for things such as sandals, leather bags, dagger sheaths, quivers, and other similar items. Leopard hides, unlike regular leather, were highly valued and usually worn by priests.
Yeah, because I've noticed that while playing Odyssey, Origins. I've noticed that while playing Origins, the priests tend to like wear leopard skins a lot. Book of the Dead, Nipquid papyrus. Oh no, it's made 4 minutes just because it will take you 4 minutes to get through the fucking start it to the end. Never mind how long they talk. Linen fabric.
Valued for its coolness and freshness in hot weather, linen was the fiber most commonly used for fabrics and textiles. It was produced from flax, which was plentiful in Egypt. Fibers were usually dyed before weaving. While color was used in the production of textiles, dyes weren't commonly used for clothing, and most Egyptians wore white.
Sounds boring.
The color represented spiritual purity, a goal to reach for every day of one's mortal life.
And that's a sheet with a linen mark, coarse spin, medium weave. It just looks like a rug to me. That just shows how ignorant I am. But what the hell was that all about? That was weird. Dye.
Various shades were achieved using woad, a dye produced from the leaves of Isotis tinctoria.
Isotis tinctoria.
The plant was cultivated for this purpose within the Nile Delta and allowed for the creation of various colors. For example, different maceration times of the leaves would result in colors ranging from red to green, while adding in limestone shifted it to blue. During the Greco-Roman period, other ingredients were found, resulting in a wider range of colors.
And here we have a sheet with blue stripes. Jesus, Shari, you're quite athletic. Behind the scenes, ooh.
This area's style is strongly influenced by the dye baths and tanneries of modern-day Fes in Morocco. This helped Ubisoft envision what such locations might have been like in ancient Egypt. While this tannery is within the city walls, back then they were often found outside the city boundaries. The tanner's trade was considered off-putting by the Greeks, as all these operations resulted in noxious smells.
And I'll say this much, I can attest to that. Dye fucking reeks. I don't know what it is about dye, but my god, the smell is fucking horrendous. Huh. Cannonball! Aww. What? I was expecting that to be deep. Because they're just standing on the edge. Although, to be fair, if they weren't getting paid a fortune, I don't. If they weren't getting paid at all, that sucks because, frankly, you could have fucking, you could have a fortune sitting there. Oh, even Shadia can take part in it. Right, one more tour. And we'll just skip Alexandria. Right, that was the 4 one, so that's 6, 9, 8, 9, 7, 12, 6, 18, 9. We'll do this one. Amulets and rituals are evolution of pottery. End on something interesting. Would you rather learn about amulets or pots? Yeah, I thought so. Ramesses the Great. Most statues and temples bear Ramesses II name than any other pharaoh, and like many rulers before him, he substituted his name on whatever already existed. Jesus. After marking a position with your ego on the world map, hold X while riding your mount to let it take control and bring you to this position. Nope. Right, what have we got? Amulets and rituals, number of stations 6, region Green Mountains, understand how magic and religion was an essential aspect of ancient Egyptian life, estimated time 4 minutes.
Welcome to amulets, and rituals.
What the hell? Really, Shadia? Because all this running the book kind of upped you up? Get your ass up! Right. Amulets and shrines.
Ancient Egyptians believed the world was a chaotic place, filled with supernatural forces. They knew that art and words gave life and power to things.
That's very true.
Carved with images from hieroglyphs or in the shapes of gods, amulets were highly personal objects that warded off dangers and disease while attracting success. Some amulets were temporary, intended to solve a specific problem, while others were meant to be worn forever into the afterlife.
That just sounds like a Maester's chain for Game of Thrones. You can never take it off, even to sleep. So is this meant to be charms? Doesn't look like much. What am I making Shadia a day, man? Magical energy.
Priests would infuse amulets with magical
I
energy
see no
during
leopard skin.
religious ceremonies, imbuing
Obviously,
them
it's not
with
that kind of
protective
priest.
magic to safeguard against supernatural powers. The wealthiest of Egyptians could obtain a divinely ordained pendant in which was hidden a magic formula inscribed on a piece of papyrus. It would act as a unique spell tailored to the owner.
Amuletic papyrus. Okay.
Religion was so important to ancient Egyptians that it permeated every aspect of their daily lives. Since water was the source of life and had the symbolism of purifying the body and the soul, all daily routines began with ablutions.
Wait, they've done this daily?
Personal prayers to the gods were sometimes written or spoken, with family prayers passed down through generations.
Here, fuck that. Doing that daily? That would drive me nuts. Libation vessel and name set jar.
There was
Religious
a complete
calendars.
calendar of each of the religious days, both good and bad, illustrating the appropriate daily rituals. Along with wine, milk, and ointments, offerings to the gods consisted of small amulets to life-size statues and family shrines. During the Greco-Roman period, offerings to the gods consisted of mummified animals, cats for Bastet, dogs for Anubis, and birds for Thoth.
Jesus! Nope. I just mummify an animal and fucking sacrifice that to your god. Right, before I do this next one, I will say I don't begrudge the Egyptians their belief in magic. I really don't. In fact, I go so far as to say that I'm there with them. I'd fucking like if I believed that I do believe in a like higher magic in the world, but I'm no like believer in gods or anything. But if you have a religion, you do you.
Deemed messengers of the gods, oracles offered guidance and judgment for all Egyptians, regardless of status. Crucial advice was offered on everything from day-to-day farming management to a pharaoh's decision on whether to start a war. Oracles were often used to decide legal issues. If the accused refused the judgment of the god, another god could be consulted in hopes of a more favorable reply.
But that just seems you can just freaking keep taking shots until you get the answer that you want. That just seems like bullshit. Consulting the
It was
oracle.
oracles that guided the Greek sailor Batos to the coast of Libya, where he founded a colony known as Cyrene.
Siwa.
During Alexander the Great's campaign to conquer Persia, he consulted the oracle at the Temple of Amun within the oasis of Siwa, and was subsequently ordained a divine being.
Yeah, which probably gave him like a big fuck off ego. Yeah, I believe there is like a higher power at work in the world, like maybe magic. And I wouldn't begrudge anyone who has like a belief in a religion or a god. You do you, but that's just not me. Ah, what the hell, we synchronized this one. So, yeah, I don't know how many tours we've done now, guys, but that's where I'm going to end this episode here. Because, obviously, we don't want to burn ourselves out by doing this. So, I don't know what we'll be doing when we come back to Discovery Tour. I may start off with... Where is it? Is it this one? Learn about the pottery and its various uses in ancient Egypt. 3 minutes? Fuck it. Right, one last tour. We'll do one last tour and then we'll end this stream here. Yeah, you may know that I'm doing this series on Discovery Tour a bit sporadically. I'm not doing I'm not doing episodes of this daily because learning other shit about ancient Egypt daily will kill me. Station 6 clearance. Okay.
Welcome to excavations all over Egypt have uncovered enormous quantities of pottery vessels of all shapes and sizes.
The
production of pottery was mainly confined to the outskirts of settlements due to the materials required and to keep the kiln smoke away from inhabited spaces. The function of the product determined the selection of the raw material, its treatment, its form, as well as the finishing of the surface.
Okay. Essential containers.
Pottery was essential to ancient Egyptians'
Brick
daily
makers.
lives.
Tomb of
It was used in all aspects of life, from the storage of grains and liquids to containers within the tombs of necropolises. The most common pottery was made from Nile silt that resulted in a reddish-brown clay. Limestone clay, which made for more attractive pottery, was only found in Upper Egypt.
Pottery techniques.
Early pots were made from pinched or coiled clay. Chopped straw, ashes, and other minerals were added, and the mixture was then smoothed and decorated before being put in the oven. Pots were fired in bonfires or enclosed within a brick kiln.
It's actually no half bad looking vase for
potter's wheel was utilized during the Old Kingdom.
Blue painted jar from
pottery became smoother and more polished,
a
similar to river stones. It was decorated primarily in red pigment, with the black color achieved by exposing it to smoke. Pottery workshops were attached to palaces or temples, and around the late period, specialized workshops began to appear.
Obviously, I get that it's like soot and all that, but I never understood how smoke can cause damage to shit. Different styles.
Quartzite particles,
blue
which created the rich blue or green glazing, became common during the New Kingdom. Mediterranean motifs and tin-based glazing came with the Greco-Roman era.
And he says that while we're looking at a bunch of brown clay pots.
Potsherds could be found anywhere, and were the most common canvas for writing or drawing, in comparison to the more expensive papyrus sheets. Named after their Greek description, ostraca contained daily life records, letters, or could be drawn upon. Artists drew sketches for temples and tombs, or simply for leisure.
Like that, artists painting of a hippopotamus. And there's the tour completed, evolution of pottery in ancient Egypt, and that is where we were going to end that there. Where exactly is this 7 one? The Egyptian household. Learn about the family life and homes of ancient Egyptians. Estimated time 4 minutes. Yeah, we will do that next time. But I want to find out where that is. So, build in ancient Egypt. Workers and transport. That's not what I'm after. Ancient Egyptian fashions. Nope. Family life and homes. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, we'll fast travel to this place. whatever it's called, Sais, I believe. Crossing the desert is a difficult experience. You will be exhausted, thirsty, and the sun will burn you so much that you might start hallucinating and see things that don't exist. Which fucking irritates me because that scared the shit out of me when I first played Origins. You can borrow a civilian's boat if you cannot find an empty one. Yeah, but they jump off into the water. Shitebags. Now, Shadrach, can you do a leap of faith? Up until the use of the euro on January 1st, 2002, Greece was still using the drachma. It was also used as a unit of weight, weighing in approximately 4.37, whatever the fuck that was. So yeah, that's where we're going to end that here, guys. Now, I don't know when I'll be back to Discovery Tour, because I have other games to play, because I'm currently working through Layers of Fear and, well, Layers of Fear Inheritance and Assassin's Creed 2. And I may or may not catch up with Batman Arkham Asylum using Return to Arkham. But I will be back to this at some point, and I know to go for the daily life one. Although I'll probably have to check that trophy again by the time I start this next episode. But till then, guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe, keep on gaming, like, favourite and subscribe with notifications on if you enjoyed what you saw today, and if you want to see more like this on the channel. And from me and Shadia here, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye! Fuck me, even Shadia can do a leap of faith. Impressive.